All right, welcome back, and thanks for streaming us, everybody. Jason Salas here, and Josh Agerstrand is here. Agerstrand or Agerstrand?
Agerstrand.
Agerstrand. I was right the first time. Hey, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Even if I slightly may get your surname incorrect, the one thing that you are doing, and that nobody would dispute, is that you are doing really, really cool things with the art community, and the reason you're here is because GAX is back.
Yes.
And we thank you for doing that.
Yes, of course, of course. So yeah, we have an art show coming up on the 6th of April, just a few short weeks, and that's in the same space that it was just in November of last year, and that's the old Gap space above Stussy in the 2nd floor. And at the same time that we're doing the gallery, we have a pop-up shop across the way that's open right now where we're selling merch, and then also we're launching another Powwow Guam. So that's all. A lot of the murals you see, like a Marine Drive, like the Man in the Carabao, and the one of Francesca in Anigua, and all those ones. We're doing that again, so we're flying 7 off-island artists, some from Asia, some from the States, and doing murals at the same time we got the big gallery open.
My favorite one is the one in what used to be Taco Bell.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And then the one at JFK, because I actually interviewed you and the gentleman who came out from the States.
That's right.
To go paint that.
Yeah, and that's Tristan. And he was so excited about Guam, but he made his own little mural festival right after we did ours with Spraycation. They did more murals that were at JFK as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that is a distinction to be made, because I remember when I was covering you in GAX, when it was just taken off, there were, you know, a handful of Guam's, you know, let's call them like elite artists and everything that were on display.
Sure.
Now it actually has become the festival experience. It's so much more than just, you know, going there and perceiving the type of art that I would never be able to create, but I can still appreciate.
Yeah, because now at this point we're past 10 years and we've had growth, and the organizers and I and all the people on our board for GAX, we've been really trying to create this growth of art. And over the last 10 years and through, you know, trial and error, like, you know, it's guesswork from all of us. Like, none of us are gallerists, right? We're just kids who really want this to happen, right?
Is that what your call if you put a gallery? I never knew that.
I guess a gallerist.
Gallerist?
Yeah.
It is now.
Yeah, but you know, it's like
Put that in Urban Dictionary.
you do everything you can do on Guam, where, you know, you Google something and you say, okay, that's how they do in the States. I think I could figure that out. I think I could borrow space. But essentially, we took a lot of inspiration from the mixed martial arts scene and what they did in the early 2000s, where essentially you have a bunch of gyms and you train your fighters, and then you try to send them off to compete on a scale, right? And that's exactly what we want to do. We want to make all of our artists be as strong as they possibly can be and help them along that path. And if we can get them to a gallery or to a mural festival or to something, we don't want to have just 1 or 2 of our artists to go out there, or just us ourselves who are in the organization. We want this whole movement to move together and to be able to, you know, export our art to the States or to Asia. There's a growing art market in Hong Kong, a lot of money there, you know. And if we're smart about it, we can be a part of that scene, because it's right there, you know.
Here's the interesting thing, because I like the word you use there, together. And I've always had the impression that there's never been any chippiness or any, you know, like clickiness and everything within the art community at GAX. Everybody's super supportive of everyone else. Everyone appreciates, you know, my strength may be your weakness, let me help you out with that. You know, it was the computer people getting together with the sculptors, getting together with the painters. And but when it comes down to selling this kind of stuff, there is a little bit of natural competition. So how do you actually keep the community together and thriving and have this family feeling, while, you know, at the same time, you know, you got to make rent?
Well, I guess we've always had great support from the business community of Guam, and we do our fundraising, and within that fundraising, inside the gallery, we've never taken a percentage from the artists. In the States, the percentage is 50%. Like, I have an art piece in LA right now, and if I make a sale, they get 50% of my money, right? So for GAX, we've never tried to take any money from the artists. Any sales that's ever happened through GAX, we let them have all of it, right? We try to make these things where we're creating opportunities and a space for people to create, and we try not to ask anything of them besides for them to be their best. And even there's a lot of times when, just as a de facto thing, like, I'll become some sort of agent for these artists, because I get, you know, the people from GTA or from KUM or for some beer company, they'll say, Josh, I really need some art. Do you know who to talk to? Like, okay, there's an email for this guy. Maybe this guy's interested. I know this person's really hungry. And we just try not to take anything from them. We try to give as much as we can. And I feel that the artists appreciate that, because we're not trying to use them. We're trying to help them succeed.
And in my experience, having, like, managed, you know, software communities and everything, if you take that approach and you say, like, you wholly own, like, whatever you make and everything like that, the natural byproduct of that, I hope, for your community would be that experienced artists are going to give back, and they're going to help, like, the younger guys. Are going to say, like, hey, this really helped me you know, grow, and, you know, like, I was able to pay my bills and, you know, do stuff, and I want to pass that that benefit onto you. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Because what we do within GAX is like you'll see when you go to the show, there's different age levels, there's different styles, there's different venues, or sorry, different mediums, I mean. And we even try to show artists within different levels of skill. And so if an artist is very young and they're showing a lot of promise, we'll have them in there right next to a professor or like Guam's top elite artists who get paid good money to create murals or whatever. And the idea about that is if we have the leaders in the art community showing next to young budding artists, it's those artists' opportunity to be able to see, okay, I can get to that level. And when you show right next to them and you get to talk to them about like, hey, how did you do that? You know, how did you do that kind of blend? Or how did you get that technique down? And because essentially that's what happened for all of us in the gallery. Me, myself, when I started GAX, when I started working on GAX, I came in at number 3. I was only a digital illustrator with the Wacom's and the Adobe Illustrator. And I learned how to paint basic fine art stuff because I didn't make it through college through all of the artists in our gallery. I'd say, hey, how do you do this with acrylics? How do I do this with oils? And they all helped me. So essentially, I wanted to pass that on. And then with anything that we taught to our younger artists, they became stronger and they wanted to pass it on and share with maybe a graffiti artist will teach a painter how to use the cans and vice versa.
Nice.
So they'll teach a graffiti guy, hey, here's a blending technique I think you could use.
Okay,
You know?
well, unfortunately, we got to run, but I can give you 10 more seconds.